You keep thinking something is wrong with you, don't you? That there's a missing piece, a broken gear, some flaw you just can't name but feel deeply in your chest. You've carried a quiet ache through mornings that look normal on the outside, but burn silently behind your smile. You show up, perform, and nod when you're supposed to, but deep down there's this voice, barely louder than a whisper, that says you're not enough. And maybe it started years ago with a careless word from someone who mattered too much, or a moment you failed to fight for yourself. But here's what they don't tell you: brokenness isn't the absence of function. Sometimes it's just unspoken fatigue, the weight of being too strong for too long. There's this moment, quiet, almost invisible, that can change everything, but it won't scream to get your attention. It's the moment you sit with yourself, not to fix, but to witness. You stop searching for answers like they're buried treasures, and you start listening to the subtle throb of your own presence. It might be while washing dishes in silence, or when you're walking alone and the wind brushes your skin just right. Something shifts, and in that space, you don't need permission to belong to yourself. You realize healing isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you were before the world told you to be someone else. And maybe Viktor Frankl was right. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. And in that space is your power to choose. You start to see that your exhaustion isn't laziness, that your sensitivity isn't weakness. You begin to understand that survival has shaped you in quiet, magnificent ways. The walls you built weren't cowardice, they were architecture. Every time you cried in private but showed up in public, that was not failure, that was grace in motion. You realize you've been performing strength instead of embodying it. And when you finally allow the trembling part of you to speak, it doesn't ruin everything, it reveals the truth that you are not a project, not a burden, not broken, just buried beneath years of pretending. And suddenly you hear the silence differently. It's not empty anymore, it's full of you. The version of you that doesn't need validation to exhale. The one who forgives himself for all the years he spent apologizing for simply existing. And slowly, you stop rushing, you stop shrinking, you stop trying to earn rest. There's a line from Rumi that slips into your thoughts without permission. You were born with wings. Why prefer to crawl through life? And for the first time, it doesn't feel poetic, it feels personal, because you remember now. You remember the way your laughter used to come so easily. You remember how you used to dream without censoring your hope. You remember that you are still here, not despite everything, but with everything. And that changes the way you breathe. You start protecting your peace like it's sacred, because it is. You start saying no to what costs your soul too much. You stop chasing people who never knew how to hold you. And maybe you still ache. Maybe the sadness still lingers. Like fog some mornings, but it doesn't define you. It visits and it passes. You are not your past. You are not the version of you that broke to survive. You are the one who stayed. The one who kept going, the one who dared to believe, even faintly, that something softer was possible. And that kind of hope is rebellion, that kind of self-remembering is a quiet revolution. So here's your challenge, not to change, but to return, to sit still long enough to hear your own truth beneath the noise, to stop measuring your worth by productivity, perfection, or approval, to look in the mirror and not flinch, to be the kind of person who stops midday, hand on heart, and whispers, "I'm already enough," and to believe it, not someday, not when you're more healed, more loved, more anything, but now, right now, in this one quiet moment. If this gave you a moment of stillness, come back anytime. You know where to find me.